This is just a recording to guys give you answers for the review for the mid-chapter 2 test. And after looking at this page, I never did actually put a title on it. So if you want to title it review for mid-chapter 2 test, that'd be great. There are 4 lessons that are covered on this mid-chapter, lessons 1, 2, 3, and 4 from chapters 2. And this first lesson was on unit rates. And if you remember, unit rate means per 1 or out of 1, it is written as a fraction. So questions 1, 2, 3, and 4 ask you to calculate the unit rate and round to the nearest hundredth if necessary. And this is important that you round to the nearest hundredth. This means you need to go out 3 decimal places before you can round, okay? So we want to make sure we do that. So we're going to take a look, and it's a reminder here to write as a fraction at the unit rate. So it's 8 batteries in 3 months, and you're checking your work. And so you should have already worked these problems out. This is just a good way to check it. And if I'm going to calculate the unit rate, I'm trying to get it down to 1 month. So it's basically 8 divided by 3. So I'm going to take 8, I'm going to divide it by 3. We are looking at a decimal. So I say, okay, how many times does 3 go into 8? It goes 2 times is 6. A lot of you are forgetting that cowboy rides the horse. The 8 goes inside, the 3 stays outside. The bottom number is always what you're dividing by, or the divisor. 3 goes into 26 times, which is 18. You subtract and I get a remainder of 2, and I add a 0 and I bring it down. And if you know this is a repeater, it's going to go on and on and on. However, I have to round to the hundredths. So I have to go out to 3 places on the decimal. I just put a reminder over here, 3 places on the decimal. Round to the hundredths. The 6 to the right says, bump that 6 I underlined up to a 7. So it'd be 2.67 batteries a month. Now, in all honesty, if this was really a question that came across, you'd really probably just say approximately 3 batteries a month because you're going to round it accordingly, but we'll go ahead and leave that as that is the answer. Number 2, it says 122 patients in 4 weeks worth of time. And so we say, okay, I want to find out what this would be, how many patients this would be for just 1 week of time. And so we're doing division here, divide 122 by 4. So I'm going to take the 122 and I'm going to divide by 4. 4 doesn't go into the 1. Some of you are really bad about putting your placeholders in. 4 goes into 12 3 times, which is 12. Does 4 go into 2? No, it doesn't. And you have to put the 0 before you add a 0 and bring it down. That's very important. And then bring your decimal up in the quotient. And then 4 goes into 25 times. Now the answer is 30.5 patients or 30.5 patients. You can't have half a patient, but this is just a statistical number or an approximate value. So we'll leave it as that. But normally you would probably round this up to 31 patients or say at least 30 patients, depending on how the question was asked. The next problem wants 51 gallons in 14 minutes of time. And if we were to take that and just absolutely do the division, we would get it down to 1 minute. And so we're dividing 51 by 14. A lot of long division here. We're dividing by 14. 14 goes into 51 at least 3 times, which would be 42. And you kind of got to know your math or work it out. I'm not going to spend the time working it out right now. And I add a 0 and I bring it down and I say 14 goes into 90. It goes 6 times is 84. I get 60. 14 goes into 60 4 times. I'm out of room again. So 14 times 4 will give you 56 and subtract and you get 4 and then add a 0, bring it down, you get 40 and it goes into 42 times. And so if we round to the nearest hundredth, that 4 right there looks to the right, sees a 2, it leaves it the same, so it'd be roughly 3.64 gallons. Okay, so I will give you partial credit if you just don't round right, but be careful. Just a reminder that money always goes on top if you're not sure what to do. And this is $8.43 for 3 pounds worth of whatever it is you have. And so we're going to take $8.43 and divide by 3. So 3 goes in twice, which is 6. You get 24. 3 goes into 24 8 times, which is 24. and then 3, bring down the 3, and then 3 goes into 3 one time. So this one worked out pretty. So this is $2.81 per 1 pound of whatever you're buying. So there's that answer. There's that answer. There's that answer. And there's that answer. And again, I'm not going to be taking this for a grade, but you need to know how to do this. So just for copying it down doesn't really serve a purpose. Make sure you know how to work these problems. You might practice them yourself. Question 5 gets into complex fractions, and all you need to really be sure of, and I wrote these big this time because the last homework assignment we had wasn't very big, but all these top numbers are being divided by the bottom. On your mid-chapter test tomorrow, I made sure that I darkened those in, but ask questions if you're not sure. So it's simply 6 divided by 2/3, and if you write the problem sideways, then you copy, dot, flip. So let me read this up here, copy, dot, flip, and that's what you do only when it's division problems. Copy, dot, flip. So put this as over 1, and then I say, is there any cross canceling that can happen? And yes, 2 goes into 6, since you can cross cancel right there. 2 goes into 6 3 times, and you wind up just getting an answer of 9. You want to make life easy on these, okay? This one problem is 5 6 being divided by 24, and of course that's 24 over 1. I copy, I dot, and I flip. Please don't flip multiplication problems. There is nothing to cross cancel here or here, so I get 5 over 24 times 6, and I'll do the math really quick, and that should give me 144. So my answer is 5 over 144 for number 6. Number 7 is 7 8 being divided by 1456. Copy, dot, flip. These should be pretty simple problems for you to do on the mid-chapter tomorrow. 7 goes into 14 twice. 8 goes into 56. 7. A lot of this is just knowing your math facts. So that'd be 7 over 2. So I take 7 and divide it by 2. Now here's an example where I don't want to do the decimal. 2 goes into 7. 3 times is 6. And I get 3 with 1 piece left out of 2. Remember on this one, you want leftovers. So it's 3 1/2. Don't put 3.5. Onto the back. Oh, sorry. That's on a different page for me here. Should be on the back side, or unless you printed it off on a separate sheet. This is lesson 3, extra practices, and this is converting unit rates. And this is where some of you start to have problems because you refuse to set it up. So set this up kind of as a somewhat tic-tac-toe-ish kind of, and you're going to put 15 quarts per 1 hour. That's the rate it starts at, 15 quarts an hour. And what do you want to switch it to? So you focus on what's the top value got to be. It needs to be gallons. I'll put a gallons here. What does the bottom value need to be? It needs to be minutes. I put the minutes at the bottom. You do not put it below the gallons. There are not minutes in a gallon. So I've got gallons on top. I want to get rid of quarts. Quarts goes here. I got minutes on bottom, so I have to get rid of hours. Hours goes opposite diagonal over here, and that crosses those out. So my quarts and my minutes get crossed out. So then you look on your formula chart and you say, how many quarts make a gallon? And it should tell you 4 quarts in a gallon. And if you don't remember that, remember a gallon family. If you've never learned that, gallon, Mrs. G lives in a house in a shape of a G, and she has 4 old windows with cranks on them. Those are your quarts, 4 quarts in the gallon family. The G is the gallon family. Then we go over here to how many minutes make an hour, and it's 60 minutes in an hour. Just a reminder, you don't put the 60 on top. It's not 60 hours per minute. That doesn't make sense. And then you say, okay, is there any crossing out I can do? Well, actually you can, and I'm going to switch colors here. 15 does go into 64 times. So these cancel out to 1 and 4 here. There's nothing left on the top that I can cross off. So it's all ones. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. And 4 times 4 is 16. So these were the only 2 I had left at the bottom. And I get 1/16 of a gallon per minute. If you change it to a decimal, those of you that have a calculator, it would be approximately 600ths if you rounded to the hundredths. But I'm okay with the fraction answer at this point. Question 9, you got 36 miles. Whoops, I need my labels. Miles per 1 hour. So miles on top, hours on the bottom. And it looks like I want feet to be on the top, so feet goes here. I want minutes to be on the bottom, so minutes goes here. It's just a little puzzle. You got to fill in the pieces. Miles needs to be across from miles, cross, cross. Hours need to be across from hours, cross, cross. There are 5,280 feet in a mile. You should have that memorized by now. And 1 hour makes 60 minutes worth of time. There are some cross canceling that can occur. On this one, I'm going to kind of write it out so that you can see it's 36 times 5,280 all over 60, because 1 times 1 times 60 is just 60. And you can make life a lot easier by canceling out the powers of 10 automatically. You can do that on top and bottom, and then 6 goes into 36 6 times. So the problem really just becomes, what is 528 times 6? 6 times 8, 48. 12 and 4 is 16, and 31, and you get 3,168. Okay, these problems can be easy if you cross cancel. They're going to be hard if you don't cross cancel, if you don't eliminate common factors right off the bat. So if you haven't learned that and you're avoiding it, you better get with the program. It's not going to get easier. Question number 10, a group of teachers can drink 25 gallons. It says 25 gallons of water a day. And that's 1 day. And so it doesn't say 1, but A implies 1 day. How many gallons of water do they drink per hour? Okay, so if you notice, it wants gallons on the top. I already have it. I don't need to eliminate it. I do not need to write gallons again. Please don't write it again. All I'm trying to get rid of basically is get it for hours. And it says per hour. The hour needs to be down here. The days are what we need to get rid of. So there are 24 hours in 1 day worth of time. So on this one, it's simply 1 cancellation, not 2 like all the other ones, because, and if you're having problems with this, it's gallons per day, gallons per hour. It was gallons per day. I want to get gallons per hour. Gallons is already there. I want hours on the bottom. I got to get rid of the days. So top times top, I get 25. Bottom times bottom, I get 24. Oh, that's interesting. And I take 25 and divide it by 24. It goes 1 time with 1 out of 24 left. So rounding to the nearest tenth. And you don't have to do the decimal. I think it's easier actually just to say 1 and 1/24 on this. 1 and 1/24, and just leave it as a mixed number. If you really want to do the division, you can go right ahead. It says round to the 10th though, and it's going to be kind of small. So if you actually wanted to continue the division, you would add the decimal, bring the 0 down. So 24 doesn't go into 10. You would add another 0, bring it down. 24 goes into 100 4 times, which is 96. And I'm not even going to subtract here, because if you were rounding to the tenths as instructed, then this 0 looks to the right, sees a 4, it would just stay 1. So you could just say 1 gallon per hour. And so, I mean, that's one way to do it, or you do 1 and 1/24. It's pretty small. Either answer is acceptable. I'm not going to be picky on that. And the last section, this one wants to know which store is able to make a profit. They are charged less per item because they agree to buy a large number of items, just like Walmart does that. When the unit price of bulk items is less than the unit price for a small order, the rates are non-proportional. For each exercise below, the number of units and the total cost of the units is given, and the blank next to each exercise number write whether the 2 unit prices are proportional or non-proportional. So question 11 says 100 t-shirts printed for $428 or 3,000 t-shirts printed for $12,180. I'm gonna be honest with you, you really don't need these zeros on the back. They're dollar amounts with no change, so it's not needed. And so it's asking you, let's calculate the unit price for 100, the unit price for 3,000, and see what the difference is. And so remember, money always goes on top. So it'd be 428 divided by 100. I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of you are going to sit over here and take 428 and divide it by 100, long division like this. And oh my gosh, that is so boring, it's unreal. You have 2 powers of 10, the decimal's back here. You move the decimal 2 places to the left because you're dividing and it should be getting smaller. and you wind up just getting that it's $4.28 per shirt. And it's simple, it's easy, just move the decimal. If you really want to go to the hassle of doing this, you can, but at this point in the stage of your life, you should be past this. That's 4 is 400, and we need to get you past this. This is going to be a 2, which is 200. Subtract, and you get 800, and it goes 8 times. And if you notice, the decimal just moved 2 places to the left. Really not hard, but why make yourself miserable doing all that math? Okay, so over here, unit price for 3,000. I know it's $12,180 for 3,000 t-shirts. Money goes on top. You can cross off the powers of 10 here. And really, it just becomes 1218 divided by 300. Now, in this situation, you do have to go ahead and do a little bit of the math because you're dividing by 300, not by 100. You do need to add your decimal on, and you probably are going to need to go 2 decimal places because it's funny. So 300 doesn't go into the 1, 300 doesn't go into 12, 300 doesn't go into 121, 300 does go into 1218 4 times because 3 times 4 is 12 with 2 zeros behind, and I get 180. And 300 does not go into 180, it's too small, and then I bring down another 0, and 300 goes into 1,800 6 times. So it really is costing $4.06 per one shirt to buy at that unit rate. So which one's the better deal? And we would say, boom, we're going to pay this one because this is the cheaper price. And I'm just going to go ahead and star this one. Are they proportional or non-proportional? And that's the other thing you had to answer. Are the costs proportional? And that would mean that they would have to be the same rate. No, this one's cheaper than that one. And so we would say no. So which one is the better deal? Okay, so better deal here. They're not proportional. That's all you have to say. So 3 compact, this last problem, 3 compact discs for $23.34 or 10,000 compact discs for $32,900. And that's pretty expensive. So we're going to find the unit price for just 3 compact discs. And so we're going to find the unit price there. So money again is on top, $23.34 divided by 3. This division shouldn't take you long. 3 goes into 23 7 times, which is 21. You get 23 again, and 3 goes in at 7 times, which is 21. And I wind up with 24, and 3 goes into 24 8 times, and I ran out of room there. $7.78 for one disc. Okay, so that's the unit price if you're going that route. However, if you buy 10,000, which I don't know why you would want 10,000 compact discs, it just depends on the situation, I guess, if you're in the business. And we're dividing by 10,000. Now here, the powers of 10, you can pull those both off, those dividing by 100 on both. And then again, it's just going to be 329 being divided by 100 when you get rid of the zeros there. And so the decimal moves 2 places to the left. So it'd be $3.29 for one disc. And I don't know about you guys, and this is what Walmart and all these big time corporations, they usually can sell things to you. Costco's and Sam's can sell you things really cheap at a better discount. And so even though it's in bulk and volume and there's a lot of them, this is way cheaper than buying that direction. So are the costs proportional? And again, the answer is no. We haven't had it where they're equal yet. And usually it's not the case, so. But not always. You got to check it and verify it. But this is what your test is going to be like. I know it took a little while to get through it, but hopefully you checked over your work and you know what you're doing. A lot of division tomorrow, a lot of long division. So watch yourself. Be sure you set up your problems appropriately. Y'all take care.